You tune into the Sportscast with Brian, Craig, and Jeff. Give you all the sports news you need. We give you outspoken thoughts about all the headlines. We talk baseball, football, hockey, and more. No matter the topic, we cover it. Get ready for the show and keep it outspoken. Keep it outspoken. We keep it outspoken only on the Sportscast. Tune into the Sportscast with Brian, Craig, and Jeff. Give you all the sports news you need.
Hey guys, welcome in to the Outspoken Sportscast here. It's your host Brian. We got Craig on the show. Craig, how's it going this Tuesday?
Good. How are you?
Doing great, doing fantastic. We got a good show for you today, guys. It's episode 117. Talks on Tuesday, playoff update edition. We're going to update you on the NBA playoffs as each series has been pretty entertaining. We are going to talk about Tom Brady's new deal. We're going to talk about the Joker getting the MVP. The Lions, big contract. They just gave their big man with the number one pick and some more stuff for you as well. Craig's going to jump in later and give you some playoff hockey talk as well. Let's jump on into it, Craig, on the other side. All right, guys, welcome in. Hope you had a fantastic weekend and a fantastic Mother's Day. Happy belated Mother's Day to all those mothers out there. Craig, did you do anything special for Mother's Day for the wife?
No, she was out of town, so
That's right. She's
we'll probably do something eventually, but no, she had her own plans out of town this weekend.
Well, that was her. That's part of it, right?
There you go.
There you go. I took mine on a date on Saturday, and then she had her own little time on Sunday. But we'll get into that later when we talk of what's in our locker. All right, guys. Well, there's a lot on this episode. We're going to break down the NBA playoffs. We're going to give you a little update on that. Each series so far has been pretty good. I mean, even the series, the Golden State and Grizzlies, even that, the Golden State's leading that right now, 3-1. Even that's been competitive, and the Grizzlies have kind of show that they can compete with people. Let's start off, though. We're going to start with the Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid is back for the 76ers, and he has changed this offense up. He's the leader of the team. James Harden went off the other night, and we finally saw him reappear. We're kind of last episode question is, where's James Harden at? He's not that guy anymore. He had 30-something points the other night, along with Embiid. I think Embiid's presence there with the 76ers is exactly what they need. And if they are to lose the series, I think we can all go back and blame Doc Rivers for having Embiid in. And I think it might all lead to that if they end up losing this series. But Joel Embiid's been in. He's been impressive. He makes everybody play better. Harden played better. His team plays better, getting everybody involved. And I think that was a missing piece. Miami has a squad, and they've still got a chance to win the series. It's tied 2-2 as we head back. They head back to Miami tonight.
Yeah, Miami has home court because they're the 1 seed, and Embiid has done exactly that. He has. Nobody knew with the mask how he'd play, with the thumb injury, all this stuff that he's had, and he has put all of it aside and done exactly what that team. I mean, he could very easily make a case on why he should have been the league MVP by the way he's playing and the difference he's made in this series.
Yes, and we'll get into that in a little bit. The Joker, kind of a interesting pick for MVP, but I thought it should have gone to Joel Embiid. But yeah, he's definitely his defensive presence, his presence, his leadership, his ability to score the ball. I really like Embiid as a big man. He's tough, playing through injuries.
That was the MO coming in on him, was he couldn't play through injuries. He basically wouldn't play. They basically made him sound out that he wouldn't play through it, and he's proved that theory all wrong. That the stuff he's played through the last 2 seasons has been impressive. And like I said, the presence he's made in the drastic. I mean, they got blown out the first 2 games. They were on their way to getting swept if he didn't come off the bench or come back in this series. They were on their way to being done. And
right.
Harden, we'll see if that was just a one-time deal or if Harden actually found something.
Exactly right, and Harden has to play good because Joel Embiid, he can't do it by himself.
No, yeah, 100%,
definitely not. And so Harden needs to step up, and he tends to shrink in big moments.
Yes.
And he hasn't been there until Embiid's on the floor, and I don't know if it's them two working together that really fluctuates the offense, but
well, I mean, keep in mind they have not had a lot of time together. Harden got there late. And then Embiid went down with an injury in the middle of the season. Towards the end of the season, he came back for the playoffs. Now he's down again. They have not had a lot of game time, practice time together. So maybe it's just a matter of they're starting to gel time-wise.
Right. And hey, what a perfect time to gel when you get in that playoffs. It's a perfect time for that. And like I said, I think if the Heat do end up winning the series, go to Game 7 maybe or whatever, we're going to look at it and go, well, if Joel Embiid was healthy, then they probably win this series. So it's another knock against Doc Rivers. But were you able to catch the Mavericks game? What was it? Saturday? Was it Saturday when they played?
Yeah. No, Sunday. We were
it was Sunday.
We were bowling travel league, but they had it on up at the bowling alley, so I was able to watch it.
What a game that was, and the Mavericks controlled home court, even the series to the Suns. They go back to Phoenix tonight for Game 5. Starts at 9 p.m. Unfortunately, what I noticed is this is a game that everybody else played good. Luka did not play good this game. He was bailed out by his teammates. He was the team's leading scorer, so I don't want you to think he didn't score much. He had 26 points. It was very quiet. He was 9 of 25 shooting. But what really came down to this is they shot 45% from three-point field for the three-point range. They shot 44% from the field goal range. Finney Smith had 24 points, 18 from Brunson. He put on a lot in the fourth quarter. Bertans scored 12. Dinwiddie scored 10. Maxey scored 11 points. This is what the Mavericks need to have happen on a consistent basis, and I think this is really all going to fall down to, can these guys show up on the road for the Dallas Mavericks?
I mean, it's not even just the Mavericks. If you just look at every series, when you go to the road, your role players just don't play as well. It's just the crowd, the nerves, the everything makes a difference. So if you can get one game from your role players on the road, that's what you want to do. They did what they had to do. They had their backs against the wall, and they did what they needed to do. I mean, it's impressive that they did not. They could have very easily came home, laid down, and been done. They didn't do that. They showed up. They answered the bell, and Finney Smith has been the number 2 in that series. He has been. If you look at the stats, that guy has been the number 2. He's trumped Maxey. He's trumped. I mean, Maxey's had his spots.
Yeah.
Dinwiddie hasn't shown up. Bertans hasn't shown up. Dorian Finney-Smith has been a defensive presence, and his offense has been great. And if they can get something for him, since Game 1, Dodo has locked down their big guy. Aiden is gone. Like, he hasn't showed up. He hasn't gotten his.
I'm really surprised because Aiden is a really good basketball player, but
and basically they said he's going to be a problem, and he hasn't been since Game 1 and 2. He just hasn't.
I don't know if they haven't want Phoenix. If I'm Phoenix, I am especially on the road. I'm feeding him down low all day.
And that's what I'm saying. Especially with Chris Paul being in foul trouble the way he was in games 3 and 4.
And I will give the Suns fans some some of those
team always gets more calls.
Yeah,
but
some of those calls were so bad. They were horrible.
Terrible.
I will give you that, and I'm a newly Mavericks fan, and I will give the Suns that, and you know
the playoffs in general. If you watch, I mean, the ejection on in Golden State in the first game. I mean, that guy has a history. I get it. He's that's fine, but a lot of these
not a flagrant two. No. Flagrant one, okay, not a flagrant two, and I think they went off.
Not when you're trying to hold the guy up from hitting the ground, you know. And some of these officials. I mean, when Chris Paul, who has never fouled out all year, fouls out with 6 points. I mean, what does that tell you?
It wasn't a really good game by him, but
no. He's had more turnovers in the last 2 games than he's had the whole playoffs.
He has some argument with the fouls, and apparently his Dallas fans got into it with his family members. That's just stupid. I mean, that's just stupid to see.
Yeah, and there's a debate on what really happened, on how supposedly it was they tried to give him a hug and tried to say hi to him. They've been banned for 2 years, I think, is the ban for both the fans that were ejected. But I mean, basically, Paul let that affect him when he got word of it. Somebody obviously told him on the bench.
Yeah, he was over there screaming at somebody.
And that's what I'm saying. He's over there. He's too busy screaming at the crowd than he was winning a playoff game. So I don't know. If Dallas, I mean, it's a 3-game series. Anybody can get hot at any time. If Luka can put them on their back and just win one on the road, you got to win one in Phoenix somehow.
Yeah, you have to win one.
I don't know how you're going to do it, but you got to win one in Phoenix.
Like you said, it's got to be either a team effort like this, or you got to have Finney-Smith. And Brunson really closed out the fourth quarter the other night.
Yeah.
Luka didn't play really well, but he was quiet. He scored his 26 points.
If you can use the defense that you used in game 3 and 4 and take the defense to Phoenix, I think that translates, because you didn't play any in Phoenix the first time around.
Yeah, the Mavs got to come out aggressive on the road. Yeah. The Suns, they were basically, it was give the ball to Booker and he had to do it all.
And that's not a bad plan. I mean,
and yeah, that can work for you, but. Yeah. Chris Paul was not good. They even used their big man. I'm talking about Buddy Manuel, who's a Suns fan. I go, what are you doing with this guy? You're not using him like you should. Interesting series. I think this.
Yeah, you use Ayton for games 1 and 2. You use him for everything, and the offense runs through him. And then all of a sudden, hey, that plan's working. We're not going to do that.
We're not going to do that. Yeah, we can't do that no more.
Yeah, that plan's terrible. So either Finney-Smith is a great defender, or Phoenix's offensive coaching staff is just like, nah, that's working. We're not doing that.
Yeah, I think we see more of a heavy dose of it coming up. I did pick the Suns to win, but anything can happen once you get it 2-2. You get some momentum carrying, and like I said, I think the real answer for the Mavericks come down to the role players on the road, and we know they know that we've seen them show up on at home. So we'll see going forward. Hopefully they win tonight. You have the Celtics versus the Bucks, and the series is tied 2-2. The Bucks have dominated a couple games. The Celtics have won a couple games. It's been competitive. The other night, and it was a must win in my opinion. If the Bucks were to go up 3-1, it would basically be over. But the Celtics showed up. They do it almost a do or die game for me. You had 2 people score 30 points, and Tatum and Horford and Smart and Brown were both put up 18, and White had 11. So when you have those guys scoring that amount, it's going to be hard to stop them guys. Giannis is going to get his own. Every night game, he's going to have 30-something points, 32 points. You know, he's going to have his and get his, and he's a beast. But it's all about those other guys. They're missing Middleton. Could hurt them a lot. But they have other guys that can step up, and this game is good. I think in the end, I want Boston to win, but I think the Bucks probably win this series, in my opinion, watching the play I've seen from both of these teams.
I'm confused because Boston plays defense and locks the team down in the first round. Cakewalk sweeps them. here's the Bucks with no Middleton, and they have laid 2 eggs. It's been all or nothing for Boston. We play 2 games and we're competitive and we win, and then we played 2 games that we weren't even in the gym.
Yeah.
Like I get it that Giannis is going to get his, but they've made that guy look phenomenal. And either he's taken this team and said, I don't need Middleton, I'm going to do it myself, or Boston just isn't what they're still missing something and just isn't. This is, Boston always has the deal of choking in the playoffs, and that's exactly what it looks like they're doing right now. It's exactly what it looks like they're doing right now. Is here's a big situation, here's your chance to show up and prove the theory of that you can't win a big game and a big series on the in the playoffs. Here's to prove it wrong, and they're not doing it. So I think the winner of tonight wins the series. If Boston can show up and take the lead and win a game, I think this game 5 is super important. I think the Phoenix series is the same way. I think all these are very, very detrimental game 5s.
Very much so. And you're right. There's something missing with Boston.
Yes.
And it's been that way for a
Some
while.
nights they figure it out. Some nights they don't. It's just like, hey, they're not here.
And this team is not a young team where you don't.
They're on the brink of having to start over again.
Yeah, you're on the brink of it's time to win or blow it up, and that's when you got to start looking at management. You got to start looking at your front office, and they have talent. This team is talented, and they don't put it together. They don't have They don't have somebody with that dog mentality. I don't think of I'm going.
They say Tatum does, but he doesn't in 2 of the games.
Yeah, it's hit or miss. And I was waiting for him. I watched game 1.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great game.
Yeah.
He never showed up.
Showed
Where
up.
is this guy?
No, they got blowed out of the gym.
Yeah, it was yeah. And that's
1 and 3, they got blown out of the gym.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And well, speaking of being blown out of the gym, it looks like Golden State might blow out the Grizzlies of the series. But the Grizzlies have kept it close even without Ja Morant, which we got news today, Craig, about 35 minutes ago. Ja Morant has a deep bone bruise in his knee and will be more than likely out the rest of the series. So even if they were to come back and upset Golden State, which I don't think happens, he's not going to play more than likely. They fall short last night, though. The Warriors did not shoot very good. Only person that shot well on the team was Curry, and the Golden State gets the job done, though, 101-98. And look, we weren't expecting the Grizzlies to win the series. You picked the Golden State Warriors to go to the championship and win it all, which I think looks like a good, smart move. But I want to focus on what the Grizzlies have done this series and in these playoffs. They've shown up. They've shown that the Grizzly fans finally have something to be excited about. This team is young, talented. They've got a coach that's got this team playing for them. They've showed the NBA and their fans that, hey, we just need to add a couple more pieces and we can contend for competitive playoff games and maybe take a couple series next season if they keep up this momentum. The Grizzlies have shown that they can compete, and they've played Golden State really hard. I got to commend them for that because I didn't expect the Grizzlies to do much. They were the 2nd seed this season. Honestly, their coach probably should have won Coach of the Year. We knew Phoenix was good. They were really good last season. Who expected the Grizzlies to come out here and be the 2nd seed in the West? Is insane.
Not with that much. Not with the way the West is built. With with Golden State and Utah and Denver and all these people that were picked to have all these powerhouses. Ja Morant, you want to talk about the dog mentality? That kid has been amazing. He talked about who maybe should have been in the MVP conversation, and that's Ja Morant. Yeah. He had a phenomenal season, and he is going to be a huge loss for them. Now, I disagree with the Grizzlies coming out and saying that the Warriors have violated some code and hurt Morant on purpose. I looked at the play, and basically they bang, he's going to the hole, and they bang knees on each other. Morant almost, it looks like he initiated most of the contact. The guy went to go slide in front of him and their knees hit. I don't think it was dirty at all. But Golden State has said that this person and about the code and now this and that and the other. I think it's just a chess match, but the loss of John Morant is going to be huge.
Definitely going to be huge, and one more game, Golden State should probably wrap it up and take that series. But we've had some really competitive series, and this is the year that I thought the Celtics were going to step up, but it looks like they're going to find themselves out of the playoffs if they can't find the consistency and that dog mentality. Because who's a dog? Giannis is a dog. That guy.
Yeah.
That guy's a dog.
He's taken over. He said,
"Yes,
Middleton. Who? I don't need that guy."
Yeah. Who's that guy?
Yeah.
Well, sticking with the NBA, the Joker gets the MVP award in back-to-back seasons, and I said, "Wait a minute. Let me look up the stats real quick. Let me look up." I thought it was Joel Embiid all the way, right? This guy, we've seen Joel Embiid progress. He had the haters saying that this guy is not a dog. This guy can't play. He's not tough.
He played a lot of season basically by himself because they didn't have
Ben Simmons.
Simmons.
What a joke.
Who's now going to have back surgery again? By the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Joker averaged 27 points a game, 13 rebounds, 7 assists, and he shot 33% from 3-point range. Embiid. Excuse me, I had to sneeze. Embiid averaged 30 points a game, 11 rebounds, 4 assists, and shot 4% better from the 3-point range. And not only that, the team's record and position was better. And Joel Embiid did this by himself all year. And you're telling me he's not the MVP?
Yeah, I mean, I think, like I said, between him and Morant, they both got a case to be that they deal, and it wasn't even close, is what it sounded like.
Yeah,
it sounded like by the votes that Joker ran away and hid with it, like it was a no-brainer.
No, Joel Embiid, in my opinion, was a no-brainer.
No, but I mean, if you look at the voting,
the
first place voting, it's like the writers they didn't even consider anybody else.
It's insane. It's insane to me. I'm flabbergasted, and I had made me go look up the stats. I said, "Well, how close was?"
Yeah, when Joker? I saw it, I texted you the other day. I'm like, "Did I miss something? Like what?
What's going on?
Yeah, what are we doing?
I don't understand. Who votes for this crap?
Yeah, I mean,
they got it completely wrong.
Stevie Wonder's voting for this, or what are we doing?
What a joke! I don't know. I just don't understand it.
Same guys that are officiating these games are voting on it.
Yeah. Yeah, apparently. Oh. Well, we got some breaking news. Was that yesterday? That we won't be done seeing Tom Brady's face after he officially retires from the NFL.
Oh, goody.
Good gracious. I'm tired of this guy. Can he go into retirement like Brett Favre and we don't have to see him ever again?
No, because that means he'd come back.
Oh my gosh. Brady has agreed to join Fox Sports as a lead NFL analyst after he hangs up the cleats. And what struck me really weird with Fox is they didn't try to obtain Troy Aikman, which I like Troy Aikman in the commentary. A lot of people don't. Some people hate him. I like him. I like him and Joe Buck.
Well, I think that's why they didn't try to keep him, is because I think they know that there was a team deal, and Buck had one foot out the door already.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, no wonder you didn't try and get Aikman if you knew this was a possibility. You go get Tom Brady, and he'll be making more money than Troy Aikman, Tony Romo. He hasn't done this job ever. He hasn't commentaried or did that, and he's going to be making a 10-year, $375 million contract. This guy must hate his family.
I hope every one of these guys sends Tony Romo a Christmas card, because he's the reason that these guys are getting these deals.
Yeah,
exactly. He came out and did the little telestrator and did the foreshadowing of plays, and everybody loves it. So everybody is trying to get their version of Tony Romo to be able to look at, who do you think? You think Tom Brady's not going to be able to look at defenses and tell you what they're going to do, or look at offenses? It's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to be able to circle the guy and go, look, he's going to run this route right here, and he's going to do this, and he's going to do that. And they're going to make him Nostradamus because he's going to know the plays coming, and that's all it is. And all these guys should thank Tony Romo for coming out here and creating this spot and creating this job. But yeah, no, I mean, if I'm Brady's family, I'm like, okay, I guess you don't want to see your kids grow up. I don't. What
he was what, retired for 2 months?
I don't think he was ever retired. I think he did that just to force Tampa's hand. I think Tampa. I think he told Tampa Bay. I told you this. I think he told Tampa Bay, hey, he needs to go. And they were like, yeah, Tom, I don't think we're going to do that. We're going to stick with Bruce. He did win a Super Bowl. And he goes, all right, I'm going to retire. And they're like, oh, I got hold on. I think he's serious, guys. All right, Bruce, listen, we're going to need you to calm down a little bit. Yeah. Like, we're not going to have this yelling and screaming at Tom. We're not going to be able to do that. And Arians is like, I don't care. We're going to do what I want. Okay, well then you don't work here anymore. We're gonna go get Tom out of retirement.
You're in the advisor now. Office.
Yeah, you're an advisor now. It's for your health. It's for your health, pal.
For your health.
Yeah, your ticker's a little bit.
Yeah,
yeah, that's 100% what happened.
Tom
Brady said, "Oh, you're gonna fire Bruce? I'll be right back."
Brady
he was never retired. He was never. He didn't file any paperwork. He didn't do anything.
Tom Brady's already had one old coach that ripped him a new one. He didn't want another one, and
he didn't want Belichick 2.0. He wanted Tom Brady. He wanted himself to be able to do it.
And yeah. And where did Troyman and Joe Buck go? They go to Amazon,
ESPN. They're going to do
Monday night. That's right. Do you like them too? I have no problem with them.
I don't have any problem with them. There's a lot of people that don't like Joe Buck, and I mean, I watch baseball and love baseball, and people can't stand him in baseball, and I don't have a problem with it.
Well,
I listen to him.
I'm surprised he left because he won't get the World Series. That's what I was like. He's not leaving because he goes to ESPN. He's not getting the World Series.
I don't know. Did Fox make a deal just for baseball? I mean, is it separate? I don't know. I mean, if that's the case, I don't know who they're going to get to do it.
From what they were talking about when this all went down,
boy, that would be huge.
On the fan,
Matt Vasgersian maybe would be the only other replacement.
Well, that's what they were talking about on the fan was that he wouldn't be able to do the World Series if he leaves.
No, I mean, it makes sense. You can't work for Fox and ESPN. ESPN doesn't want you doing radio shows, let alone being on another network's television. So that makes sense.
Patrick sends in the surprised eyes. I don't know what that's for, but thanks for joining and watching the show, Patrick. We appreciate you. Let's jump into some football here. The Lions, and when I first saw this, I was kind of excited because I'm like, what if this is a big mistake? And I don't think we've seen this from somebody else. But the Lions offer the second pick in the first round, Aiden Hutchinson, a beast of a player in college, hasn't played one snap in the NFL. They give him a 4-year, $35.7 million contract, and it's all guaranteed. He gets a $23 million signing bonus up front, but all that money is guaranteed. So if this guy comes out, blows his ACL, whatever, next year comes out and can't ever recover, whatever that may be. Maybe he's not good. Maybe he's just a bust. You got to pay him that 35.7 fully guaranteed. That is a lot of money fully guaranteed for a guy that hasn't played NFL snap. And I hope, obviously being a Packers fan, I hope I'm right. I'm hoping going, what are you doing over here? That's a lot of money. I mean, I know the first pick and second pick, and they get more money, but I don't think am I wrong? Have we seen another guy get a fully guaranteed $35 million right off the bat?
I don't think it was 35 million, but I believe, if I have to go look it up, but I believe last year one of those guys' contract was fully guaranteed. And it, I think that's the way the NFL is going now. They can cover this up in signing bonuses. They can move it around and fit the thing. But I think the Lions are just swinging for the fences here. I think they are going all in, and I think what better way to show your guy that they have done nothing but show this kid, you are our franchise. They went and gave the middle finger to the NFL and turned their draft card in 8 seconds after they were on the clock and said,
Yes.
"We're not waiting. We're going all in here. We want this guy." They're giving him a $35 million fully guaranteed contract and saying, "This is our guy. Aiden Hutchinson, you are our guy." You cannot argue that they haven't shown this kid. They've given him everything. So now you better show up and do what we want you to do, because we've given you, there won't be, look at all these guys that have been coming into training camp and they're the wording of the contract. They don't like the wording of the contract and the nomenclature of the contract and everything like that. So they avoided all that by giving him this money. They avoided all that by giving him this money.
Right, and Aiden Hutchinson's got to be feeling pretty freaking good right now.
That's what I'm saying.
And
I mean, what is this guy not going to go run through a wall for you? You drafted him.
Yeah.
You drafted him with no seconds off the clock. You turned in your pick as soon as Jacksonville picked the other guy. Detroit turned their card in. They're like, "You're not even on the clock yet." They're like, "Yeah, that's who we want though when we are on the clock. That's our guy." Yeah. And now they've given him all this money. I mean, this guy's going to run through a wall for you.
Yeah.
Anything the coaching staff wants, he's going to do. If they tell him that they're going to reprogram him and show him a bunch of different moves and whatever, then yes, then that's what we're going to do. He's going to do anything you want, and I think it's a good move. If I'm the Lions, I mean, if you have that kind of money and it's not going to hurt your salary cap, I don't think it's a bad move.
Yeah, if it gets this guy extra motivated to go out there and sack Aaron Rodgers and sack quarterbacks, by all means. And like you said, it is a big vote of confidence that they didn't wait any time to draft him. And hey, this is the guy we want. We had no questions about it, and we're glad that Jacksonville is dumb enough to let him fall to us.
Yeah.
I agree, and I honestly think the Detroit Lions are going to surprise some people next year.
I mean, like I said, they had all those one-score losses last year. That obviously normally just automatically cuts in half. So there's 3 or 4 more wins.
Well, when they're not going to lose games on 66-yard field goals.
Yeah, that bounce off the upright, the crossbar and go in.
Dan Campbell's a heck of a motivational guy.
Goff is healthy the whole year. If this kid the other kid they drafted, if his ACL is better,
they already have a decent wide receiver. And what's his face? What's his Green Bay picked his brother, St. Brown.
St. Brown
ended up being yeah, we got the wrong one, and the other one went to Detroit. Yeah. Patrick says, even better, sack Rodgers, love it. I am all in. Go Lions. No, buddy. I mean, your team there, Patrick, does have the same color scheme as the Lions, just about, but you're not a Lions fan. I don't know many Lions fan.
Yeah, my dad and my brother.
Wow, really? Well, I mean,
my brother pays every year to go watch them.
That's bad.
Pays for the Sunday ticket.
Hey, speaking of Sunday ticket, I'm glad you brought that up. Apple is getting the Sunday ticket. I think next season. So I don't know if that's going to come with your regular prescription, because I have Apple TV. It's $5 a month, but
probably not going to give it to you for $5 a month. But,
probably not. But I'm probably going to pay it, and I'll be able to watch Green Bay play, and that's fantastic.
Who wants to do that? So
a lot of people. There's a lot of Packer fans in Texas. So, all right. Well, we got some baseball here for you. Funny comment by Texas Ranger coach. That's right, Texas Ranger coach Chris Woodward, head coach of the Texas Rangers, jokingly called the Yankees ballpark a little league ballpark after a fly ball that would be an easy routine out, found its way over the wall. after the game, this is a direct quote of what he said. It said, "Just a small ballpark. That's an easy out in 99% of ballparks. The wind wasn't helping today, obviously. Just happened to hit it in a little league ballpark to right field." And later he walked it back. But he's not telling a lie. Why are you walking it back? Woody, grow some balls, because this is true. The Yankees built the stadium that way, and a lot more home runs in right field if you go look at it.
They faced it into a jet stream.
In any other stadium, it's not a home run, except
But the Rangers
stadium.
did the same thing with the other ballpark. There was a jet stream that used to bounce off, the deal, and every team does this. Every team puts their stadium in a direction that it helps them.
No. That I'm fine with the jet stream. I'm talking about it's like 200 feet to right field. That's not right. All right, it's like 350, 349 maybe to right, something like that. I don't know that. I'm gonna look that up real quick while you talk a little bit here about it. But that is ridiculous, and they built it, and I think it's garbage.
Yeah. I mean, Major League Baseball at some point approved it, though. I mean, so they didn't make it anything. I mean, I'm sure it's got to be a similar dimension to other ballparks. It's just the jet stream helps, and that the fact that they've got monsters out there hitting a baseball. I mean, it hasn't helped Joey Gallo any. He's playing out there in it, and he ain't hit any more homers than he hit in Texas.
314 feet.
Yeah, but what's Boston with the 4-foot high wall that hits you in the kneecap when you? I mean,
you flip over the
where you guys flipping over catching the ball. I mean, come on. I mean, my backyard fence is higher than the Boston Red Sox outfield fence in right field. I mean, we could do this at every ballpark.
Let's see.
San Diego, they got a foul pole painted on a Western Metal Supply Company building out in left field. I mean, there's a big brick building on the outfield. That's part of the field.
Well, yeah. It's still ridiculous. What's ridiculous is more our pitching and
let's fix that
that's
rather
more,
than worry about why we hit it 315 feet into a jet stream.
Thank you, Patrick. This is an interesting question for Greg here.
Yeah, I didn't put it on there, Patrick.
Yes, where's Craig's pride hat? I did see something earlier about the Dodgers and the Giants doing a pride hat for their whatever. I don't even care to talk about it.
They did it last year. I guess just where we're located. I guess I don't know.
Yeah. Anyways, any other baseball updates you want to talk about? Get into how the Giants doing? Trevor Bauer's still suspended.
They're a little bit better, little better now. They lost 5 straight. They're getting some guys back. Dylan Longoria's coming off the DL, and some guys. They had a bunch of guys that COVID ran through the locker room, so they had Belt was out with COVID and everything like that. But they'll be all right. It's still early. They're 3 back, and but the pitching's not has been as strong as it was the first start. And the pitching in general hasn't been. The hitters have really had. It's been more of a hitter's season. I say that after the Rangers almost get no hit yesterday, but you're just not seeing. I think with the shorter spring training, these guys are just now getting stretched out. So yeah, I think we'll start to see some guys go deeper into games and some things start to even out.
Right now the Yankees have the best record in the league. They're 20-8. Right behind them, the Dodgers are 19-8 as well. They're 1 game back there for the lead of all the best record. The Yankees were on a 10-game winning streak or 8-game winning streak.
Yeah,
they're looking good, and that division's always tough. So we'll see at the end of it who's kind of leading that. The Twins are leading the AL Central right now, 18-11. That's kind of a shocker. Twins aren't really that good.
Jekyll and Hyde. They'll have 1 year that they win 100 games, and the next year they'll win 58. It's like
the Panthers that go like they go 8-8 1 year, and next year they win their division, and next year they says, "Hey, we are not Reds fans," and that is true. Reds have the worst record in the league at 6-23. That is just pathetic.
Can't believe that guy still got a job.
Yeah. I mean, the only red player I know is Joey Votto. That's about it. I mean, what are they giving this guy to work with?
Yeah, he came back for
bad.
this. Like, he's fixing to retire. I think he came back. I think this year or next year is his farewell season, and he's like, "Oh, what did I sign up for?" Yeah, it just they weren't bad. They weren't bad last year. They were pretty good last year. I don't know if they've had some injuries. I really don't follow them that closely, but man, it is just. I mean, they're really bad. I mean, 6 wins in the middle of May. That is not. I mean, they're on pace. I saw a deal the other day. They're on pace to lose 130 games or something like that. Of 162. That's
Detroit's Detroit's only won 9 games.
Yeah, they've gone 25 innings without scoring a run. I mean, that's fun.
Oh wow!
I mean, they just played Oakland, and Oakland, shut them out. I mean, Oakland's just lost 8 or 9 straight, and they come in and they're like, "Hey, we get to play the Tigers. All right, and I thought that team. Here I picked that team to contend for the division, and they can't. They go 25 innings without scoring a run.
Yeah, that was that's on Craig's big miss board.
Yeah, that's a big swing and a miss.
It's a big swing and a miss.
Yeah.
Boston right now is AL East, either the worst right now, 10-19. So
that's another team that has all the pieces and parts and numbers wise should be at the top of the list and just can't get productivity from anybody.
Bounce back year for the Brewers this year, 19-11. They're talking about the other day how they should be the best team in the league the way they're playing.
19-11, but they're 2-4 when their ace is on the mound. So go figure.
Yeah. Well, there's still a lot of games left for baseball, as we all know. So it's way too early. All right. Well, Craig, this is your time to talk, buddy. We've got a new little segment. Craig knows hockey. I don't know much about hockey. I'm a Dallas Stars fan, but I don't follow hockey too closely. This is going to be called Craig's Hat Trick, and he's going to give us 3 or 4 whatever comments about the NHL playoffs. So go ahead, Craig. Give us those details.
All right. Well, the NHL playoffs this is my favorite time of year because this is unlike any other playoff format ever. In basketball, very rarely do you see an 8 seed beat a 1. In the NFL, you don't see the 1 seed lose all the time. But in hockey, it happens almost every year. And in the Eastern Conference, both 1 seeds that are playing the wild card are in dogfights. They're in 2-2 series ties, and they're on the brink of maybe both top seeds in the Eastern Conference could be eliminated in round 1. The only 1 seed that has lived up to their potential is Colorado. Colorado cakewalk through the Nashville Predators. They swept them. They're sitting there resting now. So everybody is at now. That could be a good thing and a bad thing. Here's a team. If you don't play hockey for 2 weeks, your next round maybe deal. Who I'm impressed with is the Dallas Stars. The Dallas Stars kind of backed their way into the playoffs. They were in a deal with Nashville, and Nashville on the last day of the season, Dallas wins on a late goal in the 3rd period, and at that point in time they looked at the scoreboard. When they looked at the scoreboard, Nashville was up 4-1 against the worst team in hockey, and everybody thought, okay, well, Dallas is going to Colorado. That's the way it is. They proceeded to let up 5 unanswered goals, lose, which made them the number 2 wild card, so they had to go play Colorado, and Dallas matches up against Calgary. Every person, there was like 15 or 18 or 21 ESPN experts who come in and pick these series, and not a single one of them picked the Stars. Not a single one of them. It was game 4, game 5, sweep, this, 6. No, it's at least going 6, and Dallas has played. I mean, they let up 4 goals last night, one of which is an empty net. I don't count those.
Those don't count, yeah.
So they lose basically 3-1. The kid Ottinger has been standing on his head. And if every time in the NHL playoffs, you see a goalie who just comes out of nowhere and gets hot at the right time. Now, am I sitting here going to say the Dallas Stars are going to walk to the NHL, Stanley Cup? No. But I really feel confident that they can beat Calgary. They've already won once in Calgary. It's a 3-game series now. They play again tomorrow night. And Jake Ottinger has not been this is his first full season as an NHL goalie, and he is not backing down from what they're asking of him. He has been amazing. I still think Colorado is probably going to be in the Stanley Cup Finals and probably win it. That would be if I had to gamble and bet the farm on one team, Colorado would be it. The Penguins have looked really good in their series against the Rangers. That's another team. The New York Rangers, they finally look like they put it together. They make the playoffs. They're the 2 seed. They're one of the division winners. They don't have to play a wild card. Everything's right. Everything's trending up for this team. And Sidney Crosby, who is 147 years old, is still playing hockey, and not only playing hockey, but he's doing things that most these young kids can't do. He's a machine. And I just think Pittsburgh could be in, one of those teams that get, what a better way for Sidney Crosby, Sid the Kid, who had, if you don't remember, but he had to sit out a couple seasons with that massive concussion he had. He had a concussion and could not shake the symptoms for 2 or 3 years. And they thought his career might be over. And not only his career is not over, he's come back and he's picked up right where he left off. And I really hope that if this is his last season or one of his last seasons, that he gets a chance to win another cup. That guy's really been good for the sport of hockey, and really he's a really good player and really class act. And so he never blamed anybody when he went through the concussion deal. He never said it was a dirty hit and this guy ruined my career, that guy ruined my career. He just said, hey man, these things happen. I played this game and I knew what the risk was playing this game, and we're going to get back from it. And he did. So I think the Stars can surprise Calgary and shock Calgary. I think Colorado is your clear 1 seed, and I really hope that the Penguins continue their march and finish what they started here in the deal. But man, every one of these series is chippy, and they're fights, and they're throwing gloves. And if you like hockey, now is the time to watch them. And the way the NHL has done this with ESPN and TNT and TBS, you can watch all of them. You don't need the Bally's. You don't need the networks. You don't need the NHL Power Play Pass. You don't need any of that. It's all on local. And I think that they're having so much success with these local stations that you're going to start to see hockey next year, during the week on these local stations. And I really think that after the lockout hurt them, I really think that this can be good for the game, and that these playoffs, everybody being knotted up and having really tight series, I really think it's good for the game.
I appreciate the hockey talk, Craig. That was fantastic. And I did not know that about Crosby. I know he's a fantastic player. I did not know about the concussions. That's really interesting. You always want to see those guys, even if they're not on your team, you want to see those stories of guys that you respect, and you want them to see them go out on top. And it's something really hard for a player in any sport to go out on top, and it rarely happens. So that'd be awesome for him. Like I said, I'm a Dallas Stars fan. I was a Dallas Stars little kid as a fan growing up as a little kid. I just kind of fell away from hockey, but I'm ready to jump back in it, man. And what a better spot to jump back in it in the playoffs when you got the best hockey playing. And you're exactly right. That's what's so fantastic about hockey. You don't see those upsets in basketball. You don't see those upsets usually in football. But in hockey, you get a hot goaltender and you can beat anybody. So fantastic, Craig. And I don't know about you, but when I've been to other events, basketball, NBA, I've been to the Cowboys.
There's zero things that compare to a live hockey game.
And you're exactly right.
The atmosphere of the arena.
You are exactly right.
And throw it into a playoff atmosphere, it's insanity.
You're exactly right. And even when you're watching on TV, when you watch it on TV, hockey may not be that exciting sometimes, but you go to the stadium and you're like, oh my gosh, it's a different
And it doesn't
environment.
matter where you sit. You don't have to sit on the glass. You can sit up in the
Yeah,
rafters, and you see everything, you hear everything. It's an amazing,
it's
amazing
electric.
atmosphere. Yeah,
It's
electric.
electric.
I mean, they're small, 25,000, 28,000 is capacity, but it's the loudest 28,000 people you'll ever hear.
Right. And I think that's a team that we can finally all agree on. I'm a Stars fan.
Yeah,
Craig's a Stars fan.
and they're young, so they're this is not a team
Right.
that's going to go away anytime soon. They got a couple, older guys, but they've signed for a couple years. But this Jason Robertson, man, this kid is the real deal. He had 40 plus goals this year. He had, he's and Miro Heiskanen, he had a bad year, but that guy, you want to talk about the fastest skater in hockey? That guy flies on skates. And they got this new kid, who plays goalie, and he's Ottinger, and it's his first season in the NHL, and he's standing on his head. I really think that the Stars can, even if they don't do it this year, the next couple years. I don't know if Rick Bowness is the right guy behind the bench. There's hims and haws. When they hired that guy, he wasn't like the first one on the list. So I'm not sure how long Bowness stays around. I think he bought himself a couple years when he went in the bubble and took him to the Stanley Cup Finals. I think he was on an interim tag when he did that, and so I think they kind of just gave him all right, well, you took us to the Cup, so I guess we'll give you a couple-year deal. I don't know how long he stays around. I don't know if he's the right guy for the job, but I do like the nucleus of that team, and Ben and Sagan and all those guys. I really like the nucleus of that team.
I agree with you. I definitely agree with you. Look forward to more of these on Tuesday. Craig's hat trick segment. Craig, it is that time. We've ran out of all our headlines. We've put a lot in the show. Craig, what is in your locker this week, my friend?
Well, kind of a busy week. We're coming to the end of the fall season in the bowling alley, and got a couple big weeks ahead of us to challenge for a league championship that could be interesting. Tribal League will wrap up in a couple weeks, about a month, but that's every other week, and the weather's starting to get warm, and you know what that means. That means it's time to get outside and barbecue it up and throw some cornhole bags and get together with the fellas and try to hang out and watch these hockey playoffs if the Stars hang around or if the Mavs hang around, and just get together and hang out and
I definitely agree.
have the fellowship. So it's about that time of year. It's really Texas. There's nothing you can't do outside as long as you can deal with the heat. So yeah, that's about it for me. What about you?
Let's see. Mother's Day weekend was pretty good. Me and you went over to Tony's house, played some cornhole at his daughter's birthday party and his birthday party, and Muggy is all get out. But we had a good time there.
Yeah.
Patrick Tennyson says cornhole and beer, yes sir. So definitely some cornhole, and but Mother's Day was fantastic. We went out that night. We saw we went to Chili's. We weren't too hungry. We went to Chili's, had some appetizers. We walked over to the movie theater and we watched Doctor Strange. Fantastic movie. Fan-freaking-tastic. I don't know if you guys are Marvels. Are you Marvels fan, Craig?
I am, and I'm glad you said that because I had heard from a couple people that are like, "What did I just watch?" Like it was confusing, So I'm glad to hear somebody say that it wasn't like confusing, and my 17-year-old's like, "Well, that's probably because they didn't watch WandaVision." I was like, "Well,
yeah,
I haven't watched." He's like, "Well, you probably should."
Yes, you would have no. I'm not going to spoil anything for anybody. Definitely not a spoiler show. I'm not that
that's
guy.
a huge stepping stone to watch that. Yeah.
Glad you brought that up. I told Ryan in the truck today, I said, you have to watch WandaVision or you're going to be completely lost.
And that's
of
maybe what we're doing.
Just
What
went.
did I just watch? Yeah,
Of-
well, I guess according to the 17-year-old, he knows everything, you know.
Yeah, you must watch WandaVision to see how she goes from a hero in the movies to what she turns into. Yeah,
The
there's a big
backstory
gap.
of her is and I
There's a
guess
big
that
gap.
comes into the
Yes,
the
it's
Doctor Strange.
that's a big role with the movie.
Yeah.
And there's been talks about should this movie be rated R, and I'm like, are we watching the same movie rated R? Are you kidding me? No, this
Well,
movie should not
basically
be
now
rated
they
R.
think everything should be rated R. I mean, there's people that think Disney movies should be rated R. So
I'm like, are you kidding me? What are we rated R? What are we watching the same thing? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Fantastic movie. You must watch WandaVision. Fantastic series. It's like 7 episodes. Go watch that. Then go watch Doctor Strange. Great. I loved it. It's one of my favorite Marvel movies of all time. Okay. I really like it. So I took her out to see that. Sunday, she had a day where she wanted a day with no kids, which I totally get that. And yes, nerd alert, Patrick Tennyson, nerd alert. All right, that's okay though. That's okay. We have video games and Marvel and all that good stuff. But the wife had a day where she was in a room by herself, no kids. I did all that, and she enjoyed herself of a lazy day. I'm learning a new route at work, so that's fun stuff. We got some different changes coming to the show. I'm waiting on Jeff to make these changes up with the graphics so we can get into talk about those. But very special episode Friday. Friday's episode will, for the first time, be our all of us on the same episode. Me, Craig, and Jeff will all be on the show together, and see how it works out, because it's going to be a lot of talking on here and try to figure out that. We've got a good show for you. Jeff has still yet to come on and talk about the draft, so I want to get some of his comments on that. And he's a Denver Bronco fan, so they didn't have much of they had a draft, but their biggest pick of the offseason was Russell Wilson. But we'll be on Friday, guys, and we'll have a first time ever 3-man show. See how it goes, and go from there. But I'm excited for the show.
Can't wait.
And it ought to be interesting. So feel free to jump in with that, guys. I want to thank you guys for watching the show. Thanks, Patrick, for your comments on our feed here. We can only see comments from YouTube. We don't see comments from Facebook. So if you are watching our comments or watching our show on Facebook, we cannot get those live on our restream. But I go on there afterwards and see if anybody's commented and kind of try and get back with you. But we appreciate you guys taking the time. I have a busy schedule to watch us. Go click, like, subscribe. We are on YouTube. We live stream there, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter. We're on all podcast platforms. You can find us anywhere. So feel free to share us and like and subscribe. But Greg, fantastic show. I really like the hockey edition we put in there. Hope the fans of the show have watched and like that as well.
Thank you, sir. And we're looking forward to Friday. So we'll be ready.
We'll be ready. All right, guys. Well, God bless. Enjoy the rest of your week and keep it outspoken.